Hello, hello, family and friends. Welcome to episode 18 of We Need Each Other podcast. We have a really good episode in store today, and we're super excited and excited for our guests and to hear their wonderful stories. So make sure you're tuning in. Hello, hello. Hey, Josh. Hello. Send you. Thanks for joining. Woo! Oh
It's
no,
a,
I forgot to
don't
put
worry
you
about it.
on.
I got it for you, girl. I got it for you.
The
So,
behind the
so
scenes
real quick,
moments.
drum
Oh
roll for
no.
episode
My bad.
18.
Ooh, ooh, ooh,
um,
ooh, ooh.
yeah, how are
Hey
you feeling? What's
Jazz.
up, Kayla? How are you?
I'm feeling great. I just got back from Puerto Rico yesterday and amazing. I know you
Absolutely.
caught that dope
No, I'm
content.
seeing the sun.
I know.
I'm looking.
I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling
How are
good.
you
I'm
doing?
feeling really amped about this talk today. I'm excited just because this kind of speaks to me a little bit. I've been on my internet dating stuff. I've been on my Hinge app and stuff like that. So I want to really
I'm excited to hear about that Hinge. I'm excited to hear. Listen, all the reviews that I read of Hinge is like that's the hookup app. But one of our wonderful guests tonight actually met on Hinge, and they have pretty
yeah,
successful love stories. So I'm
we
excited
gonna
to
go
hear
into
that.
it. But I'm really excited about this one in particular because this one kind of speaks to my soul, and I know a lot of people out there. So yeah, I'm happy to be back.
Can relate. And also keep in mind, like internet dating is not just dating apps. If you meet someone on Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that's also an internet
Absolutely.
dating. I think
So,
people
so
forget
real quick,
that.
'cause
So
we do want to invite God into the talk real quick and just kind of you want to bless the scene real quick with a quick prayer before we get started.
absolutely. So I do want to say this before I say the prayer. I normally pray from the heart and from my mind. But while I was in Puerto Rico, I wrote this prayer in my grandma's house. And one of my sessions of talking with God, these words just came to me. So here we go. Let's bow your head.
That's right. Bless
I'm
the
going to
house.
read it from my
Bless the
paper
house.
because it's
Bless.
long. Father God, we thank you for this day that you have created. We thank you for this moment that was already written. And we thank you for this podcast that was in your plans. We thank you for organically bringing us together in this business partnership, not only to bless us, our families, but to also bless your people. We do not take our calling and blessings lightly. May we never forget how much we need you. May we never forget to make you the center of our lives in this podcast. May we never allow insecurities, doubts, ego, envy, or negative comments take over our vision. May you continue giving us the words and wisdoms to transport love, transparency, value, healing, and blessings to your people. Father God, we thank you for every single person listening and tuning into our podcast. I pray you bless them and their families abundantly. I pray you calm their hearts, spirits, and make their worries go away. I pray we continue building beautiful connections with beautiful souls. Father, we trust you, we love you, we believe in you, we thank you, and we give you all honor and all praise today and forever.
Amen.
Amen, amen,
Amen.
and
Whew.
amen.
Oh, yo, okay, like that was
Amen. Oh, one of my beauties
amen,
in
yo.
Christ is in the
That
building. Hey,
okay, that was
hey.
beautiful. Thank you for that. Thank you for this. So real quick, I always got like little um little sneak attacks. So I got a quick icebreaker for you.
Mm, mm. Amen. Oh, thank you,
Amen.
everyone.
Amen.
Amen,
Absolutely.
amen.
So real quick. Well, first, I did some research for this, and I was saying, yo, in terms of the whole internet age, the internet has only been around for 40 years. So the actual birth date of the internet was 1983, right? I'm sorry, January 1st, 1983. So that puts this whole conversation in perspective. Like before to actually connect with someone, you had to pull up on someone and you had to really go see them in person. Or, well, of course we had phones, but actually to see someone, you had to really pull up on someone. So before the internet, there was no FaceTime. There was no hopping in someone's DMs and all that other stuff. So this is a
You had to meet them
start
halfway. Like,
walking. I'll
start
meet you
walking. I'll meet you
halfway. And
halfway.
even in terms of so now FaceTime has only been around since 2011. The app debuted on Mac in 2011. So back when we used to watch the Jetsons and we used to see the big screen and stuff like that. We thought that was the future, but we're in the Jetsons right now. We can open up a screen, you can talk to someone, hear their voice, and now in a couple more years, we're gonna be able to smell each other and be like, "What you got on, girl?"
Right.
So real quick, I wanted to know first. Where's my question at? Yo, long distance dating, real quick. What are your thoughts on that? I know you had a.
I think they can work. I've been in a long distance relationship before. I think they can definitely work. It's like any other relationship, as long as you both put in the work and actually are committed to each other. Listen, we make time for what we want to make time for. So if you really want that person, you're going to make time for them. They could definitely work. I don't know about somebody being in India and you in the United States. I don't know about all that, but mine
all right, cool. Real quick, texting or talking, what do you rather?
Talking.
Okay,
I'm a huge talker.
Real quick, your love language: words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, or gift giving. What's your top love language?
All of the above. I don't really care about gift giving. Give me two.
What are the ones? Of course, we have some love languages that really connect with us in terms of all of them are needed for a healthy relationship. But there's some ones that pull at our heartstrings a little more. So words of affirmation. Okay.
Quality time because you can't take that back, and physical touch because you want to feel wanted.
Yeah, these questions I probably want to run by the guests. So in terms of internet dating, what is the instant turn off for you? Like, what is something that you see on someone's profile, you're like, swipe right?
Someone who, first of all, someone who's not into God. Like, if you don't have some type of, we don't even have to be like exactly the same religion, but if you don't have some type of relationship to God, and I see that, and it's like someone who's always negative, I'm not into men who smoke, so if I see you smoking on your live and flashing your money, that's an instant no. Yeah, I mean, I have a whole list, but those are the top 3 I can think of right now. And if I see you like being real thirsty on the internet,
cool. The first thing that strikes for you in terms of just grab your attention, personality or physicality? What are the first things that should really kind of get you going?
Well, honestly, the first thing you see on the internet while you're scrolling is the physical. So, and then after that, based on the first conversation, I can automatically
tell. But how important is that? So let's say he's maybe like a 6.5, but his profile is bomb. Can you excuse his 6.5-ish because he has a bomb profile?
Let me tell you something. I tend to date medium ugly men. So yeah, but I'm gonna change that moving forward. But I tend to date. I've dated medium ugly.
You can bypass that.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. Yeah, sometimes.
Cool. I just wanted to kind of have I'm super duper excited. So it was real quick. Oh shit.
No. Now you gonna.
I should have texted him. So the first one was just a long distance relationship. I'm not fond of a long distance relationship. Kind of going to the next one. My love language is physical touch. One of my greatest love language. So to reach out and touch and hug and smell and all that means a lot.
Especially the smell. Not to cut you off. Especially the smell, because that's one of the biggest things. The smell and the walk. You don't know how somebody smells or how they walk until you meet them in person, and then you're
Absolutely.
like, ooh.
The next one I say, definitely talking over texting. Texting doesn't really communicate too much. I get it. You have the witty responses, but literally so much of what you say is not what is said. It's how it's said. And in texting, that whole how it's said and the body language is taking away. So it's literally things can be misconstrued. And sometimes we have these conversations over text that can take 2 hours back and forth when it could have been done in a 15-minute conversation. And I love voice.
Yeah.
Instant turn off. Internet dating, instant turn off. Definitely, I put physicality to the forefront. If I'm not instantly attractive, I swipe right. I try to give people credence according to their profile and say, okay, baby. But literally for me, if I'm physically, I can see off the first 3 pictures. If it just does nothing for me, that's all right. Just swipe, because I know I just have to have that.
It does give you a little butterfly.
So now, even in terms of not being so superficial, if someone is, and I don't want to put people on a necessary scale, but like 7.5, 8, or whatever, and it may not be 100% of what I want, I'll go into the profile and kind of see it. But just I'm not even going to backpedal. It just has to have that spark for me. And then when I'm not attracted, that's an instant turn off for me. And what was the next one? Next, I think that was it. I said my love language, physical touch and quality time.
But I do have a question. You said you don't think that long distance relationship can work.
No,
Have you ever been in one?
That's probably why. That's probably why I don't think long distance relationship can work. But for me, it's predicated off of the physical touch for me. I think I love to build rapport with people over phone and FaceTime, and I totally get it. But I gotta reach out and touch you. I gotta reach out and touch. For me, that's at this age. Not even just about it being a sexual thing, but just in terms of just hugging someone. My family, we're huggers. And when and smell, like you said, is very important to me. You only hit dating a woman for freaking months, and you never smell her before. You don't know what her pits smell like. It's crazy.
Then you're like,
that can turn you all the way up. Or like you said, well, for the man, it's the
of
walk.
course.
Seeing a man walk in real time. That's value.
The walk is
that's value.
I ain't even gonna get to it. But yeah, the walk is very important. Yeah, that easily can turn me off. Like, ooh. But it's okay, because now moving forward, all you gotta do is be like, let's FaceTime. Can you get up and walk real quick? I gotta see your walk. And that's that. No, I'm so serious. Like, can you put your phone on a tripod
just walk for me, just real quick. See?
Yeah.
So some backstory on this. Jamal and Shanice, first one of the coolest couples I know. I was kind of mentioning, so Jamal is my cousin on my mom's side, and I was kind of mentioning the title to Jamal, and I was like, I was telling him about just the show in general. I didn't even think about inviting him. I was just telling him about the show in general. I was like, my next topic is this, and he was like, me and my wife met on Hinge. I've never even actually heard of Hinge, and that's his wife. Yeah, so that's why it makes the story even better. So I knew that he would be perfect to kind of have on this talk to kind of even examine what that really looked like from a real-time basis of connecting on the internet, not physically connecting, actually building a relationship, building a great rapport, and then finally meeting a year later. So I kind of want them to kind of go and take them on that timeline. So we're going to have Jai and Shanice, like I said, the coolest couple on the planet. Definitely one of the coolest that I know. And then we'll also have another guest, Jazz and DJ. These people, they basically we did a post about this topic, and she wanted to kind of express, and I was like, hey, I sent her DM, and I asked her to share her story with us. So I'm really excited about hearing their story as well.
I'm really excited. I'm all for successful love stories.
That's what this is about. So without further ado, just invite John there. So let's start the party off. John, please.
Send out
shout out to everyone who pulled up to this talk, come have this conversation with us. In the grass.
Whoever, I was gonna say
real quick, big drum roll for the coolest couple on the planet. You know by the name of
Thank you for having me.
Welcome, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yo,
thank you for being here, willing to share your love story.
Cool.
We're really excited.
We're excited to be here. We love the show. I'm definitely following. I might be like low key in the background watching. I don't comment, but I'll be watching.
Tapping in, yes. I see both of you.
Yeah.
Love yo, first, just kind of start off. Y'all guys look great. Y'all look great together. Y'all look like a great couple. So even in terms of, I understood why y'all swiped right on each other. I get it.
That's the thing. We make each other look good,
That's right.
That was one of the qualifications. We got to look good together. Because I can't be with somebody that don't make me look good, or somebody that I don't make look good. Like, I don't want to be that couple that's just.
How did they end up together?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want that.
I love it. Yeah, y'all are awesome. Yo, I kind of want to start from the beginning. Like, in terms of the storyline, like, how did that start? Who sent a message first? Like, who hopped in DM first? Who swiped right?
Who swiped right first?
Yeah, take
okay, so what
take it through the whole story.
Yeah, what had happened was it was COVID, and
it was literally right before the world shut down.
Right before the world shut down. So
actually no, because the day we matched, I was actually in med school at the time.
She was in med school. We're just so you know, we're out in Baltimore. Maryland.
Oh, nice.
And she was attending school in Maryland. And I've lived here for about, I think, 2-3 years, something like that.
Oh, somebody in the chat said they can't hear us.
Yeah. Can you guys hear? Can someone comment if you
Yo,
still can't hear?
Thumbs up if you can hear. Let me. Yeah, I have to. I can't hear any of you. Yo, Jazz, fix your Wi-Fi, Jazz.
She's out in the. She's on the road. No.
It might be a connection.
But I can hear.
You guys.
I can hear you guys clear.
Perfect. So the world shut down, and then we matched the very same day. I found out that I'm actually from Canada. And so my location was, because I was in Baltimore, my location was here. And then the day we matched, I found out that the world was closing and all my rotations were canceled and I needed to like pack up my things.
Yeah, so they basically deported her back to Canada, basically.
Wow. This was the day you guys matched?
Or maybe I might have found out that I was being like deported essentially the day before. And then like I was packing up and leaving that day and we matched.
Yes.
Wait. Now let's get ahead. Who swiped right first? Because one person has to say yes, and the other person has to confirm the match.
Let's go into that. So, you know,
what had happened?
What happened is,
I actually saw his profile first.
She saw my profile,
and I swiped left.
Okay. Oh.
Because I didn't end up matching with him because I was attracted to him. Like, I mean, hello. But his profile, like he was heavy in the gym, like he had all these gym pictures and was like very into music. I do not gym. Like I sit on my couch. And as far as music goes, I like music. I'll know the lyrics, but don't ask me to say who's singing something. Don't ask me about that album that dropped. It's just not on my interest list. It will never be. Like I think now I know a little bit more about music, but like from what he was presenting as far as like key components of himself, it was like,
You think you guys want to be compatible.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, there's nothing common. Yeah.
I was like, you're cute and all, but
nah.
Yeah, exactly. So
hey,
that's
Mira.
Oh shit, Mira, what's up, Mira? So yeah, that's her side of the story. Basically,
actually, Amira, we went to med school together, and so I was on rotation with her when I matched.
Yeah. So I guess what she said is kind of true. She just wasn't into like the lifestyle. I mean, me and my Hinge profile, I tried to balance it out because I'm a professional ass person, like when I need to be. But you know, when I'm at home chilling, like I got topless workout pictures.
You said topless.
Yeah, all that. So I tried to present a very Melvin-like character, but at the same time trying to balance it out. And I guess she just wasn't feeling it. So I came across her profile. Sometimes as men, you got to tell a woman what she likes.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Right, you see us like.
You got to take the lead sometimes. So I definitely swiped right, and I came in your DM like you cute or whatever, or something like that.
Whatever the young kids say.
Exactly.
It was like, what's up, mama? You cute or whatever.
Yeah, what's up, mama? You cute or whatever. So basically after that, we kind of just kept going back and forth talking. This was around my birthday actually too, but I didn't tell her it was my birthday or anything. So I live like right across the street from my brother's house. Every night we would talk, and I would kind of just set aside time, like, yo, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Like 10 o'clock was we would text throughout the day, but like 10 o'clock was our FaceTime.
It was our FaceTime time. And I didn't tell him at first that I was going home to talk to my future wife. But I just set aside that time, and like you said earlier, Kayla, you make time for things that you want to make time for.
Yes.
And I'm very big on the energy that's reciprocated, and whenever we would talk, I would feel that. So I definitely set time aside, and it was sort of like I was looking forward to it every night. It was like.
And I think so. We matched that day, talked like through the app, and then I think the next day was our first FaceTime. And literally since that day, now obviously we live together, we're married, but since that day, we talked every single day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys weren't playing. You were like, we got to FaceTime.
Yeah. Because I had before that, like Hinge was the first dating app I had ever been on, and I was probably on it for maybe 3 weeks or so. And I found that, you can have this like great conversation texting back and forth, and then the conversation's dry and it's like awkward and it's just like dead-ended conversation. So it's like, what is the point of, obviously we have all this time, we're in COVID, but like what is the point of wasting both our times if the chemistry is just not there?
And again, and another thing I want to point out is when I got on Hinge, and I'm not sure if you've experienced this yet, but it kind of attracts a different crowd. I was at a point where I was trying to date with intention.
Say that.
I wasn't, there's hookup culture everywhere on every one of these dating sites, but I find that Hinge was sort of attracting the type of vibe that I was in at the time. Like, so yeah, I was serious about it. Like,
Yo, she said, I remember the FaceTime dates. Yeah. Yo, but I think that's super duper important in terms of whenever people are on a date, on a dating app or whatever, bring it into the real world. So FaceTime, that's something that's personal. That's like hit me on my phone kind of thing. And I think it's really important to get off of that. So we're not doing the dating app thing. We're having real conversations. So when y'all had these real conversations, how long did that take until you actually saw each other? How long was that timeline?
So it was everyday FaceTimes, and like on Fridays and Saturdays I would do my makeup. Like it would be a legit date. Like do it all. Yeah. We would have like our drinks ready, eat dinner together.
With a bottle of Henny.
Wow.
Yeah, we would do all that.
Wow.
It was what we could do for like what we had being in 2 separate countries. And
yeah, mind you, COVID was closed down too. COVID had everything closed down too. So
and then
you gotta do what you gotta do.
It was just like rotation after rotation was being canceled as like the pandemic continued. And then finally I got rescheduled. So I got rescheduled in July, so 4 months. But I was scheduled to start rotations in New York.
Right.
And so when I say it, it sounds crazy. So instead of going to New York like a normal person would for their rotation, I booked a flight to Baltimore with like my med school suitcases and my backpack and my carry-on to meet this man in Baltimore. And in my head, I said to myself, I think this person is who I am supposed to be with. Like at this point, we had already said I love you on FaceTime. Like we had already like committed as far as what our intentions were and what our goals were and what we were working towards. And I said, this could go one of 2 ways. He could really be like the man who I'm supposed to be with, or it could just be like a hot mess and I'm like either walking into my death or like I'm going to this person's house in Baltimore and then I'm gonna have to find my way to my rotation because he said he was gonna drive me. And I like looked at my bank account and everything, and I'm like a struggling student. And I'm like, okay, I have enough money to either buy a flight or a bus ticket and like survive. Like if I need to just get out of this man's house, it's not what I want to do, but like
right.
You
have family out here too, right?
I had family. Like I could have made it work until like I needed to go. So
But she had a backup plan.
Like I could have just figured it out and pieced out. I flew here 4 days before I was supposed to start in Brooklyn.
Yep. So we spent those 4 days together, just kind of, after the shock of finally meeting the person, like, wow, it's like seeing a celebrity. Like we've been speaking all of this time, and then you're finally right in front of me. It's just like, oh shit, and this is real. And on top of that, it wasn't like any type of, because I'm sure you guys know of the horror stories of talking to somebody, then you meet them, and they look crazy.
Catfish.
It wasn't just like I'm meeting you at a restaurant. It was like I'm meeting you with my luggage, coming into your apartment, staying with you for days.
Yeah. Yeah. At hotels.
That timeline, though, check it. That timeline between actually matching and actually seeing each other, how long was that?
So 4.5 months.
Yeah, 4 months. I keep saying a year because it felt like a year. It wasn't.
It was COVID a year.
Months.
It was a long time.
Was that awkward? Like when you landed and he picked you up at the airport and all that?
So my mom knew I was coming to meet him. He'd already spoken to my mom on FaceTime, and like my sister and my cousin, and I had spoken to his brother, and like I don't think I talked to my sister-in-law, but I had already spoken to like some of his family members at the time, and obviously there's all of that pressure, and I think because I had like school stress already of like moving again to the States and all, like I just was already filled with anxiety. And I'm like at the airport in Toronto, and he's not answering his phone, first of all, before I get on this plane. So that already, yeah. And then like finally he answers and he's sleeping. I'm like, how can you be asleep at a time like this? But anyways, like on the plane, landed. I'm like hot, trying to get my luggage, like stressing, like spraying perfume.
Right. Trying to fresh up.
And it was honestly like an outer body experience. Like it was, and at least, you know, like I looked at him and I knew, I'm like, okay, cool. Like from a distance, like I saw a car pulling up and him getting out of the car. I'm like, okay, this is the same person. This person looks the same. Okay. And then, yeah, I was scared. And it's interesting because I had always envisioned like our moment meeting each other of like, you know, like the ones in the movies, and you're like, oh, and the music's like going and you have this like large embracive kiss and all of that. And I was just so like crippled by nerves.
You know, and that's that. I'm glad that you brought that up because I had that same thought in my mind. And you know, I get out the car and I'm nervous, but I don't show it. Like, you know, of course I don't show it.
Right.
Not, but you know, I'm just like, yo, let's do that whole Titanic love embrace kiss, that long 5-minute airport ass kiss.
Right, gotta run to
I'm waiting for the damn 5-minute ass kiss. And
it didn't happen.
No?
it was a nice little 3 seconds. It was a nice little.
It was a little peck.
Yeah.
Peck.
Yeah, but I could tell she was nervous, and rightfully so. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So mind you, the whole car ride is about 2 hours from. You flew
DC.
into DC, so yeah, and I live in Baltimore, so it's about an hour and a half. And you know, I'm kind of nervous. I'm like driving extra careful, just trying to get us home safe. And you know, I'm just like sneaking in looks and all of that. Like, you know, okay.
She's real. She's real.
So then we finally get back to the crib and all that, and you know, I had stuff prepared. Some there's this really good wine y'all should try. It's out here in Baltimore. It's called Black Raven. If you like semi-sweet, because I don't like candy wine. Like this stuff we drink is dumb sweet, but it's a red semi-sweet. So I had that, and I think I prepared some. Was it salmon?
Yeah, you made salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a cook. I'm a cooking ass nigga. Like my whole mother's side of the family. Like we cook. That's what we do.
Say that.
But,
Say that.
So I had the salmon prepared and all of that. Had some wine, and you know, we sat down at my table, and we finally had that moment to really take each other in and embrace. And that's when I really, you know, that's when the sparks flew, I guess.
Oh.
And you know, after that, it was pretty much an enjoyable 4-day vacation for us, you know. And you know, I love New York so much. I miss it. Anytime I can go back to the Bronx, I'm there. She happened to get scheduled out in Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn. I like Brooklyn too. So after the 4 days, we decided.
I think you stayed with me for a couple of days.
Yeah, so we drove out to Brooklyn with all of her, basically all of her life. And, we settled in this apartment that she had in where was it? It wasn't Flatbush. I forget what part of Brooklyn it was in, but yeah, we stayed there, and I think she had a 3-month rotation. Was it 3 months?
I was in there for 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the landlord was being kind of, you know, wild. He's like, you can't have a guest and all of that, but you know, we like snuck, like we made it work. We made it work.
And
I was
like
there.
coming back and forth every weekend.
Yeah, either I was out there or she would come out back to Baltimore. And you know, basically we've never missed a weekend without each other, you know.
I think we were long distance for one rotation in Connecticut.
One rotation in Connecticut.
For 3 months, we didn't see each other that much.
Yeah.
Question. It seems like Shanice, she said she kind of knew that you were kind of her person before even meeting you. At least she had that image in her head. Was it the same for you, Jock? Did you know
Absolutely.
that was your person before even meeting her?
Yes, definitely.
100%.
Definitely.
You knew before.
I had no doubt. Yeah, man. I think it all came when, was it in Virginia when we first said we loved each other? we spent the week. I spent the weekend in Virginia, and I was with my boys and all of that. And somehow I ended up on the couch, and just after a long night of drinking and vibing, I wanted to come speak to my wife.
Aww.
So we're on the couch, and well, I'm on the couch. She's in.
I was in bed at that time.
Yeah, you were in bed, and we're just talking, and somehow I don't know. I think you said it.
I said it first.
You definitely said it first.
And it slipped. It was one of those that I was not. It was just like
It slipped.
You're like,
but
oh,
it was
like,
just.
it's okay. I still love you. And I was like,
Yes, it slipped, but my reaction was like, I was waiting for you to say that.
Yes.
I said it right back.
What was the confirmation? Like when you're dating someone and you make it official and all that, there's something that they do or say that you're like, yeah, I want to take the next step with this person. What was the confirmation for you guys?
I don't know. I think one time you didn't hear from me for like a day.
was it 24 hours?
It
I
wasn't
was 24 hours,
hours.
but I think the day went.
The day went. It was like maybe half a day or something like that. And I was like, oh, damn, I'm being a bad boyfriend. And I meant it, but I didn't mean it. Like, it was so weird. Like, I'm not doing what I need to do. Like, you shouldn't go this long without speaking to me. And I think from there, that pretty much solidified everything.
Check the emerald trees. We're back. We're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there were just incidences as far as like my career was on hold with COVID, and then like getting delayed and just like going through that emotional turmoil. And like you had family stuff happening at the time, and we were just going through personal things with each other from abroad, and knowing, even given our circumstance, that he was still my person, like he was still the person that I wanted to call or like work through something where like this is happening and I need somebody to talk to. And he was who, despite like all of my other relationships, like friendships, and like he was the person that I wanted to be myself.
Oh,
There's like that safe space, like that you find. That's beautiful. So you know how sometimes we get involved in situations and then it automatically becomes like, oh, we're in a relationship. Did you go old school and say, do you want to be my girlfriend or do you want to be my boyfriend type of thing? Or you guys were like, nah, we're together?
It was kind of like, nah, we together. I mean, there was no like sit down, do you want to be my boyfriend or do you want to be our girlfriend? It was like, I'm being a bad boyfriend. That's what I said. Like, so yes, I am your boyfriend. Like,
You're like, ain't no turning back.
Yeah, and I think because from the beginning we had already established like what our goals were, like personally, and like that we were wanting relationships and that we wanted a long term and for it to develop into a partnership and a marriage and have children.
Absolutely, we were speaking about kids and all that. Definitely.
Yeah.
So because we didn't have any of those like fluffy conversations, I think just how things developed, we knew what we were doing, and I never had questions of like, is he serious? Like, he never played mind games with me. It was not is he serious? Is this what we're doing? Like, I don't really know if he really feels the same way about me, or I knew based on what he was giving me and what his actions were.
Right, ain't time for no mind games. Like, I think that it's your responsibility if you're dating with intention to eliminate that gray area that there may be where somebody might be unsure. So, if you guys are serious about each other, then you make sure that doesn't exist.
And I feel like maybe even 2 or 3 weeks into us talking, like maybe 2 weeks, we like had deleted our hinges. Like, we knew.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So it sounds like
I do wish that we kept the hinges because I would like to see what our conversations were verbatim.
Screenshot that.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the one thing I wish we did.
I'm gonna take. It sounds like the biggest thing that I'm getting, that intentionality. Just really being intentional from the start, kind of knowing what you want, allowing it to build organically, but actually steering it in the right direction. So now you guys, 3 years later?
3 years later, married for 2, a baby.
They have a beautiful daughter, Maya. I love her.
Yes, my.
That's
Kayla, you were saying something? I'm sorry. I saw your lips moving by the hearing thing. Go ahead.
No, I said that's beautiful. Like in 3 years, from dating to being married to having your bundle of joy, that's a blessing.
I love them. Yeah, I wish we could stay here and talk for an hour more. Real quick, before you go, for anyone who doesn't believe in the internet or who may think that it may not be real, what is some words of advice you give them in terms of forming that actual authentic interaction or authentic bond based off of just internet of not seeing someone?
On distance too, because
Yeah.
sometimes it could be internet, but you guys are in the same town or something. The line definitely plays a huge role.
What would you say though?
If you're going to internet date, like you have to be ready to like fish through who is not going to be for you. Like, luckily in our situation, we met each other after I'd only been on the app for less than a month, but that might not be your story. And you might just have to, go through even the people who are catfishes. Because at one point, like, I think I had met like 2 people off of Hinge before the world shut down, and I'm 5'5", and the people had said they were like 5'10", 5'11", and when I met them, they were shorter than me. So as you said, you very well may need to have somebody like, I'm gonna need you to stand up. And I'm gonna need you to take a couple steps back and walk. Just
walk.
Just,
I said the
in front of your fridge so I can get a sense of how tall you really are. Like, are you at the cabinet? Where are you? But I think it's possible if your heart is in the right place and if you're open and like willing to be vulnerable, because you have to be more vulnerable when you're online dating, with intention at least.
Absolutely. That's one thing I would say. Just make sure you're doing it intentionally. And, you kind of know when you're in something for a game or if you're really trying to pursue something. But, if it's the case that you are being intentional, I would say just be true to what you like and what you dislike. And, don't come off crazy and like be overbearing on somebody, because that's that's always a turn off. But yeah, it's really not as difficult as people make it seem.
When it's with the right person.
When it's with the right person, But yeah, I would say just on your part, just do your part to be intentional, and that person will eventually come.
And you'll know. Like, I think it's people like to ignore signs. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think if you're honest with yourself, you can really tell, like, do I have a connection with somebody? Am I chasing this person, or is this person like actively making an effort and meeting me halfway? Because if like our designated time slot to talk was 10 o'clock. No matter what, we were on FaceTime at 10 o'clock. But that doesn't mean that we didn't still like talk throughout the day. And if someone and when we were talking at 10 o'clock, it was like 2, 3, 4 hour conversation. Like sometimes on the weekend, we were talking until sunrise came up. So if they're only giving you like a 20-minute talk, then that's all like you're ever able to have with that person, or the conversation gets dry after 15 minutes. Like, that's not your person. And just cut your losses at like however much time you've invested and move on. Otherwise, you're gonna forever say that like online dating doesn't work.
Y'all love y'all guys, man.
I do want to say this: you guys give off like this sense of peace, and that is so. There's nothing more beautiful than being in a peaceful relationship. So I wish you guys many, many more years together. Thank you for joining us. It was beautiful.
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for. Peace. Mwah. Love.
All right, guys. Take care.
Yo, Kevin, how cool was that? I think there's like a little X at the top. Just
yeah.
The X. Got you.
Love y'all. Yo, how cool was that?
Oh my God. I wish we had I'm thinking about it while they're talking. I'm like, damn, we should have split this up in 2 parts. Because I didn't want to.
Oh man, that would have definitely been that would have definitely been the vibe. We're gonna have to do a part 2, but we're gonna get right into our next one. Yeah, I love these stories and coming from different dynamics. Like I said, I've been really, really, really excited to interview these next people. Jazz, she was super duper excited to share her story. I instantly DM'd her and I said, yo, hey, I would love for you to share it. She said, how can I share it?
Yeah.
And here we are. So I want to bring to the mic this beautiful couple. I'm really interested in hearing their story. Jazz and DJ, if you're in the building, just send that invite so they can come and pull up.
Jazz.
Cool.
Cool, yeah.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Drum roll!
Yeah.
One of the coolest people that now we're getting the pleasure of meeting and we're really super anxious to hear a story. So give it up for the lovely Jazz and DJ!
Hello, guys. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yo, real quick, yo, I called y'all one of the coolest people just without even really knowing y'all. We did a quick 5-minute kind of talk, and y'all was just super duper cool. Y'all was just kind of like, hey, yeah, we were just ready to kind of tell a story.
Oh, yeah.
And we're happy to have you guys. How you feeling?
Yeah,
Pleasure to be here.
I'm
Thank
good.
you for joining us.
Yo. So
Absolutely.
real quick,
Of course.
what app did y'all could connect on?
So we actually met through Facebook dating.
Shout out to Facebook dating.
Yeah.
And I didn't use Facebook dating until obviously with meeting him. But he had used it before, but I hadn't. I had tried all the other apps and I was like, I don't like those too much.
Yeah. Facebook dating is definitely one of those things that you got to take caution with. I mean, it's not really the same as. I mean, I don't have experience on other dating apps, but if they're anything like that, I wouldn't want to try them. They're yeah. I really lucked out. I mean, I really did.
So who swiped right first? You liked her, she liked you?
I liked her. I was at work and I was on my break and just something was like check your like recommended, and I did, and I seen her and I was like, who is this? And
like,
that
swipe.
like instantaneously. I mean, because she's beautiful, and I just and I know it's not all about physicality, but like you guys had said in the previous, it is physicality based at first until you get to engage in that conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And when you saw that he swiped right, you were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I got like a little notification about it and I went and I checked it and I said, okay, all right, I'll swipe back. And when I swiped back on him, he already had messaged me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like really simple, just like, hey, how are you doing? How's your day going? Which works for me because I like people trying to send pickup lines. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, just keep it simple. So he kept it really simple. And then I said, okay, I guess I'll respond back. I didn't think he was going to respond back to me at all because it took him a little bit. But then when he finally did, he's like, hey, I'm sorry, I was at work. I just got off. And I was like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like really, I still am, but I was very like work focused at that point in terms of just strictly work, nothing else, no real friends or anything. I was just trying to really stack my money up and get to where I need to be in life. And something came over me and was like, make this exception, just see, take the chance.
Yeah.
Usually take chances, take the chance.
Yes.
Your gut is telling you to take the chance, take it. And I did. And here we are today. It's worked out fabulous.
I love it.
Yeah, you have to, when you know, you just got to take that.
Absolutely.
So how long did y'all actually stay on the dating app to transition from that to actually exchanging phone numbers and making it real?
Like I think we talked for about a week. I think kind of like just at nighttime when I get home from work, I'd check in and we'd have our small conversations. But I didn't want to rush anything either. At that point, I wasn't sure if I was wanting a relationship, and things of that. And then because I had just got out of one a couple months prior, and I'm not the type of person just to go relationship to relationship. Yeah. I kind of value my partner, and to me, it's like a spiritual thing too. Like I have to feel a physical connection with you. I can't fake anything. I just how I am. So it felt very real, and I think about a week after we exchanged numbers, and from there we were FaceTiming after that.
I like how you said the check-in. You'll get home from work and do a quick little check-in because that's all it takes.
Yeah.
For us females, as long just answer our message. Give us some of your time. That's all we want.
Right.
Something
just a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Like whenever I go to my friend's house, they kind of knew I was talking to somebody because I'd be over there cheesing, just like, but yeah.
So now taking it along the timeline. So it took about a week for you to ask for the number. Once you asked for the number, y'all started FaceTiming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did, in terms of the whole FaceTime and actually seeing each other through a screen to in person, how long was that timeline?
I think we probably FaceTime for like maybe about another week. Because at that time I had left because I moved to Nashville probably almost 2 years ago. So it was really almost my only first year in Nashville. So I didn't know anybody outside of the people I worked with. But I went back home to Georgia to visit my mom for a little bit. And we FaceTimed for like about that week. And then when I came back, we were like, we should go on a date. Yeah. So we set up like what we're gonna do for our date, and it was really nice. We didn't even make like a full plan. We just decided to go downtown, go get dinner somewhere. We ended up getting dessert at this ice cream shop that was down on Broadway.
Very spontaneous night. It was really fun. That's what made it fun, was that there wasn't a structured plan. It was just, we're feeling our energies out, and we were vibing, and we went from there.
I love that. So 2 weeks per se, in terms of from the actual matching on Facebook dating to actually that first date, making it real.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I love that, because I think so many times people play the internet thing for a while, and it's kind of fictitious when it's on the internet, at least in my mind. But when it kind of it steps into the FaceTime, that's the first sign of a real interaction. It's like, it's personal. You have my phone number, and then it's saying, hey, I want to actually take you on a date. So the Facebook dating was just to kind of do it real quick, just kind of get y'all to a real interaction. I love that. So rate your first.
Go ahead.
I'll hey, how did that go?
That was
I would say
10. Yeah, I mean, we had like it was like fireworks. I mean, we went up on the rooftop. It was great. It was awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that first initial face-to-face was like, oh, okay, it was confirmation.
Well, yeah, it was actually when I had got to the apartment, because this was like, I've heard women be like, well, I got to look out for my safety. As a man on that dating website, we absolutely have to look out for our safety too. So I was truthfully, I was walking into a line, and I was like, hey, I don't know who's going to be at the end of this door. I don't know, I might have been FaceTiming a woman, but
it might be her brother.
Yeah, I might show up, the whole family there. What's up? I don't know. I was just like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And when we opened the door, we both just like this glare, like her eyes glared, and I could feel it. And I know it's gonna sound crazy, maybe, but I felt like we knew each other, if that made sense. Like we had met before, and we're just here again. And it was awesome. It's a great feeling. Really.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, did you have some? I cut you off, Kelly. Did you have something that you wanted to go out there?
That's so beautiful. You got her blushing still. And you guys have been together how long?
Almost a year.
Yeah, we're going on like 11 months.
So you guys are in the same town. You're both in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're both in Nashville. Okay, that makes it super duper easy as well, in terms of just being in the same proximity versus being states apart from each other. So I love the fact that y'all made it real. And I was like, yo, I like you, I want you, and I want to see you.
And this is a crazy fact, but we were actually following each other without knowing it, because she was so I had moved to Florida from Nashville in the New Smyrna Beach area. She was in that area a mile from my house, but we didn't know each other.
Wow.
Yeah, and when we came back, we were a mile from each other in Nashville again.
It's meant to be. So how did you guys make it official? Like, we asked the other couple, was it the old school way, like, want to be my girlfriend, want to be my boyfriend, or?
No, we just knew. Like, I mean, we didn't really even talk about it. It was just a head nod, agreeal, like, we're in it, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
You ain't nowhere.
Yo, I love it. It seems like the most, even from the last couple, the most beautiful interactions are the natural progressions.
Yes.
It's kind of like, it's stuff that doesn't need to be kind of said, like you feel it kind of thing. And kind of, it's like you said, just a head nod. It's like, yep, all right, we're going on.
And you mentioned very important, DJ. You say, you're a spiritual person. So when you walk in spirit and in faith, it's like, you always get that confirmation, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, you can always feel God's intuition on stuff, in terms of like, you'll get, well, at least for me, I don't know about everybody else, but personally, I'll get like these little tingles around the area, my back area and stuff. It's almost like it's a hint, like, hey, So yeah.
Just prying a little bit, I had a couple questions that I asked Kayla on the start of it, so I'm going to just direct a couple at y'all. Just tell me about your love languages. So you have the 5 love languages. Words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and gift giving. What is your love language, DJ?
Mine.
Or a Jazz, either way.
Mine is quality time. Like, because especially since I know I work during the day, anytime that I can get with this man after the day is done is important for us. That way we can spend time together. And it really just gives me the space to check in with him and make sure that, you know, we're supporting each other and making sure that we're not falling short anywhere. And if we are, that gives us time to fix it, talk about it, have like our date nights.
Yeah. Yeah. And my love language is quality time as well. For me, I'm going to dedicate a lot of my hours out of my day to go do a job or whatever. I'd like to come home and be with the person I want to be with. I think that's only right. So, yeah, and also like I would say kind of acts of service. Like for me, my love language to other people is like I'll cook. Like I love cooking. So like if I can make meals, that's like a, you know, like you worked all day, the least, you know, I can get you is a hot meal. I feel like that's absolutely fair. Also music. Yeah.
Good. That's right, Jazz.
Yeah. Music as well. I'm like, I think a lot of times, like, I put my emotions in the songs I'll listen to. So, like, if we're listening to music in the car, like, yeah, it's a song, but it's also meant for the occasion, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Hey, real quick, something that we haven't really shared, right? Yo, I met Kayla on Facebook dating. All right. So I met Kayla on Facebook dating, and we've never actually met in person. It's something we haven't even revealed. So about 6 months ago, I was definitely hopping in her DMs like, hey, I thought she was really beautiful. And we met on Facebook dating. And then from there, we had authentic talks. And then the authentic talks came in terms of just beautiful perspectives. I was like, wow, people need to hear this. And then it started with our conversations. We took without even really thinking about it too much. We said these conversations need to go live. We took them. We went on our first Instagram episode 6 months ago. Had a first talk with trading conversations. We invited other guests to be a part of it. But low key, I've never actually met Kayla in person. But this was a thing of just Facebook dating in terms of just connecting people. And this whole beautiful show and this business was spawned just off of that. So shout out to Facebook dating, just connecting people in general, whether platonic or
And we started sharing like goals, and it's like, oh yeah, we need to make a business. Like we need to put this out there and help other people. And yeah, that's how Weneedeachotherpodcast Each Other podcast came together.
That's amazing, guys.
shout out to Facebook dating.
Has definitely been
Facebook, they need to sponsor us.
Yeah. No.
a business partnership for sure. And we're looking forward to continue growing, you know, God first, obviously. And so this is awesome.
Absolutely.
That's
This is great.
awesome.
Yeah, I love, so now in terms of connecting, right? And it's not a thing of pushing marriage. Like, is it something y'all just naturally kind of just going with the vibes? Do y'all is the intentionality there in terms of where y'all going forward, or is it just let's just build? Like, what does that look like in terms of building for y'all?
You want me to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We've already had the conversation about talking about getting engaged a little bit after our 1 year. And I mean, I met his parents, and we see his dad like every other weekend.
Yeah.
His dad lives here too, so I see
Everybody
his dad
loves
every
her,
other
so.
weekend. He's met almost all of my family, like minus some of the aunties and uncles because they have their own lives too. But my parents love him, and I've had a conversation with them, and he had a conversation with my stepdad and also my biological dad too, because we got a chance to see both of them while I was home. We went back there for maybe like 4 or 5 days to spend time with them, and he like talked to both of them about marrying me, and I was like, okay, I will let have that.
Well, yeah, and I didn't show up to really, like, you know, I don't want to be one of those guys that would be timid about anything. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm going to be taking your daughter to deal with her for the rest of our natural lives, I feel like it's the least I can do is tell you what I plan to do, and so you're, you know, check and see if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things when you know, right?
Yeah.
Some people can be dating for 10 years, and it's like after 10 years, like, yeah, we're engaged and we want to get married, but it's like when you know, why waste time?
Right.
Like the couple for you guys, in 3 years, they dated, got into a relationship, married, and have a child. I mean, everyone's different, right? No pressure, but it's beautiful that you do have pure intentions. You guys are both on the same page.
Right. And when I had asked, I was hoping initially I didn't put you on the spot, but in terms of just intention, I think that's beautiful. Just in terms of not only, it seemed like from the start, it was intention. My intention to kind of talk to you on the phone, my intention to kind of see you, and then from there. And I love you guys' story because when it comes to internet dating, sometimes I think it's an internet dating thing. It's a weird kind of thing, but it seems very natural. It was just internet dating was just another form of connection with you guys. You could have met at a fair, you could have met at wherever. It doesn't even matter. That was just Facebook dating was just the inception of it, and then 2 weeks later, it was like, let's go on a date. So it wasn't really too much to it.
Right.
I have one more question. So I know you guys said that when you first met, it was like an instant spark, but what was the confirmation? Like, they have to say something and do something for you to be like, you know what, I do want to take that next step with you.
That's the one.
You want to go first? Okay.
I'm just thinking back.
What you gotta say?
Like, for me, I had other dating experiences, but it wasn't anything that was ever like a level of commitment, which why ultimately didn't work. But with him, when we started dating and we were going out, he, like, all of his actions, everything from the conversations that we would have, especially when talking about like our goals in the future and what we wanted out of life, listening to him talk about that, I went, you know what? Yep, that's it. This is the person right here. But also him seeing how he treats other people too, because that's also a big thing for me. Like, seeing how he interacts with his parents and seeing how he interacts just with other people out in the world in general was very important to me, because I don't want anyone that's out here treating people bad or he talks down to his parents. He has a great relationship with both of his parents and it's very sweet to them, always checks in on them, makes sure that they are good. Like, he doesn't hide anything from anyone. He's very open. He was very open with me about everything from the beginning, everything from past relationships to childhood, pretty much everything. He put it all out on the table for me. And for me, in my past history, that's not anything that I had experienced. I hadn't experienced anyone that was able to be vulnerable with me and be open and actually be able to engage in those conversations with me, but also be intentional and know what they want. So, I mean, him and I, we're both 23 and 24, and a lot of people in our age group, they don't
have it. I mean,
they don't know what they want. They're walking around, they don't know what they want to do, or they're just kind of doing the having fun thing, and I knew that's not what I wanted. And he knew that wasn't what he wanted either. So both of us, we basically said, this is what we want, and it's non-negotiable. So when we both set out what we wanted and made it a requirement, we were like, all right, we're sold, let's go.
That's why it's so important to have those tough conversations, and they're not even tough, but people tend to avoid them because they don't want to really open up. But it's so important to have those conversations in the beginning, because that way you could really know if that person is for you or not. There's nothing worse than connecting with someone and then a few months down the line you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what you want, or you're afraid to talk to me. And family is super important as well.
Yo, DJ, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you. I just want to hear from you. What was that spark for you in terms of you just knew, like, hey, this is something that really I need to pay attention to, or yes, you could be my person. Yes, I see it. What was that thing for you?
It goes back to a lot of my personality. I don't have checklists for anybody. I kind of think that's unfair, but I do go by. So, for instance, we'll say the scenario. About the second weekend, I mean, I was obviously really liking her and everything, but like the second weekend was really when like I knew as well. I know that sounds kind of short to a lot of people, but like I said, I had a gut feeling. I was like going with it, and basically that was when we were out and we were walking around, and I was, you know how like men are supposed to walk in front so that in case anything happens, et cetera, we're the first line of defense, And I just kind of saw the way she was looking at me, and just like she was safe. And that to me was very important. I don't want anybody around me, especially females, feeling unsafe. It's not, not any situation anybody wants to be in. And I just realized like there was a level of care with her that I hadn't seen from somebody before. Like she cared about me more than the people who claim that they did. Like I can tell off of vibes. So it's one of those things. Like I just knew in my heart that she was the one who's gonna take it. So, hey.
I love it. Yo, y'all give me so much faith in terms of connecting with someone that's possible online. Because I myself have been in the internet dating world, and like a couple before us, my cousin put me on a Hinge, right? Mm-hmm. In Hinge, it's something because it's a voice component they have to Hinge that they didn't have in Facebook dating. So they ask you just like a voice prompt, and they ask you to answer a question or to say what is something that's on your mind. So you get a chance to see someone's picture. You get a chance to hear their voice, and also they also have the video thing that's integrated in it as well. Oh, wow. So it's really beautiful. It kind of gives you different components of who a person is, not just pictures and words on the screen. And I kind of really attract to that, so you can kind of get a feel of who someone is before I actually meet them in person.
Yeah.
And then also when I'm gathering from you guys, the intentionality in terms of being intentional, in terms of what do you want, saying it, and not being afraid.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm currently not dating by choice, but you guys have hope. And like just like the other couple, it's like you guys give out this peace, you know, because some couples be faking. Some couples, I get around some couples that I'm like, not faking. But you guys just give out this sense of peace and security and safety, and that's just beautiful to see. So congratulations. And I want to invite for the wedding. So
like I asked the other couple, word of advice you would give to someone who doesn't believe in internet dating or just says that's just a thing of social media and it's not real. What do you say to someone like that?
I would tell people, you know, obviously internet dating, it has its pros and its cons, and you always have to be mindful of that and be smart about it. But just set your intentions and go in on what you want. Because obviously you know the people that you want to avoid. You have to kind of sift through some of the weird people that are on the dating apps, especially the ones that put in their bios, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know, avoid those people. Yeah. But if you set your intentions, if you know what you want already, the person, they'll be there. Yeah. You just have to get through some of the weird people and stand strong on that. Like, don't change what it is that you want because you see a guy or you see a girl that's on the app that's cute and you feel like you should bend it. No, stick to what you want. They're there. They exist. I promise. They exist. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I would say for anybody who's not believing in it, because I was one of those people. I'm not gonna lie. If this hadn't happened, I'd still be one of those people. But if I was back in their shoes, I would say if you've had negative experiences on online dating, it's one of two things. It's maybe your preference isn't your preference, if that makes sense. What you like isn't what you need. What you need. You may like, there's a difference like and need. Like you can like something a lot, you don't need it. I mean, there's plenty of things like that. So you may like people or you may be attracted to a certain type of person, but if that's not working or your dating experience has been lackluster by any means, then I would say be open to other options. And if you get the gut feeling to do something, like I said, your gut normally doesn't lie. So if you get the gut feeling to do something, take it. It might just be worth your time.
Absolutely. And pray. It's important to pray about it.
Absolutely.
Yo, I love that. Yo, shout out to y'all.
Thanks.
Shout out to y'all. Yo, and on your journey, I just wish y'all many blessings, much love. And I would say just keep that same energy in terms of the intentionality, in terms of the fearlessness. Don't let fear come into our relationship. I love this because this was also a way of giving each other their flowers, you know, kind of keeping those interactions open and keeping those interactions beautiful. And this is what this podcast is made for, just in terms of why we need each other. And not only just romantic, but just conversationally. Like, I need to hear this as well. Kayla needs to hear this. And we're really happy for having you. Any final words, Miss Kayla Daly?
No, just thank you guys so much. A beautiful, beautiful love story. And I truly wish you guys the best.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being on the show. I very much thank you guys for having us.
Thanks for sharing your love with us, man.
Cool. You guys let us know.
Yes, peace.
Peace out. Hey guys. Awesome. You're great.
Top right corner. Everybody, everyone struggles with that. We gotta put that in the caption, like top right corner.
Top right corner.
So beautiful topic. I'm glad we touched on this topic.
Yeah. So what you think? What you think about it? Oh man, what are your final thoughts?
What I really like is that the first couple, they only been together for 3 years. They have been together 11 months. Like, they ain't playing. Like, life is too short. We don't got time for games. Like, I know we're not about to be in a relationship for 4 or 5 years. Nah, what do you want? We're going to get engaged in a year. Like, what's going on? They weren't playing. They knew, but you know what it was? You could tell they worked on themselves prior to dating. So they did the inner work. Then they started dating, and their intentions were pure from the beginning. And they just said, no, this is what I want. And if you don't want this, then we're not going to be together. So that was beautiful.
I'm going with energy. What I get, being transparent now, even in terms of this whole internet dating thing, I'd never really like, I don't want to say believe in it too much. So when even I connect with people, even on the internet, I kind of take it very lightly.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you catch a vibe, just kind of go with the vibe, and kind of you don't know what it develops into. Kind of just in terms of with me and you, it was a vibe. We kind of caught it, and it just developed into this beautiful conversational kind of thing. And it spills in many different directions. You don't know what it is. It could be a business partner, it can be a wife, it can be whatever it is. But I think just going with the vibe and actually trusting that if something feels good, just going for it. Like you're seeing someone on the screens, I like you, make it known, or hey, let's talk over the phone, or whatever it is. Kind of go with the vibe and being intentional. That's the
So also not flags too.
say it one time.
Like also not ignoring the red flags.
Not
entertaining. You might be missing out on your real blessing. You know, so I think that I don't want to say it's normal, but it has happened to all of us. In the past, we have ignored what red flags because you really like that person or something. But once you ignore them, you compromise your wants and your needs. And that right there, that will really mess you up. You will end up in a situation that you did not want. So it's important to be true to yourself, say exactly what you want from the beginning, and not ignore the red flags. And then you'll really be able to find your person.
right. And I like the fact that you can be seen even online. And I thought that you can only be seen in person.
Yeah.
But as long as you're authentic and you're intentional and you don't lie in your profile, you can be seen for who you are.
I took a lot of gems from them. I'm definitely going to remember the things they said when I start dating again. Like, oh, okay. Oh, hi, mommy. My mom's in the building. I'm such a mom.
Hey, Miss Nelson, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yo, this
Who tuned in. The audience was amazing per usual. Oh, don't forget, you guys, to please participate in our giveaway in honor of the podcast 6-month anniversary. Last bam, we did giveaway, and you can be entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card. I mean, who doesn't love Amazon? So go check out one of our latest posts and participate in the giveaway. And thank you for your love and support.
Yeah, so real quick, just 6 months. What did 6 months feel like, and how did that? I know I don't want to open up another can of worms and kind of go into a whole nother conversation, but real quick, celebrating 6 months, that is a real big milestone. And how did the 6 months feel for you, real quick, in terms of timing, in terms of episodes? Like, yo, we're here. How did we get to 6 months?
Yeah,
Taylor?
I feel like these last 6 months are full of lots of growth, and not only like growth in the sense of everything that I have learned. From running a business together and from our guests, but also for me, like I've been faced with a lot of things and I'm like, oh, okay, I got to work on that, or oh, I'm great at that. So yeah, just a lot of growth and blessings. Like God is so amazing, not only with our podcast, but just the connections that Weneedeachother podcast has brought to us. Like we've met amazing people, and I'm really excited for what's in store, and just grateful. I'm really grateful.
Amen. So, more of the story, don't be scared to send that message. Yo, who sent a message first? Do you remember? Did you send me a message? I sent a message.
Wait, please.
So don't be scared to send that message. You never know what it blossoms into. It can be a beautiful romantic relationship, or it can be a beautiful business partnership, or it can be whatever it is. So don't be scared. Be intentional, and actually go out there and connect with people in whatever way possible.
And be true to yourself. Don't compromise yourself, because then you're gonna end up with people who are not your people. Like, be like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, and that's that.
Yo, this has been awesome. This has been lovely. Shout out to everyone who pulled up for the conversation. Shout out to everyone who's going to see this on the replay. This has been another episode of Weneedeachother podcast. Yo, the Facebook did. You'll be coming for that sponsorship.
Participate in the giveaway. Don't forget.
Yes. Check out our latest podcast. Yo, we love y'all. Until next time. Later.